How's it going? So last week when I built the freelancer hub for the ChatGPT use case, it dawned on me that the template that I built would make a great template to show y'all how to create and leverage relations and roll-ups. So these are two of arguably the most powerful properties within Notion databases. And at a very high level, relation properties allow you to create relationships between, say, a client database and a task database, or a project database and a task database, or they could all have relationships with each other. Rollups can then be set up after a relation across two databases has been made. And a roll up could do something like I could roll up the amount of estimated time from our test database just for projects that are either website design or Q3 financial report. So it's pulling in data, but it's also doing things to that data, such as summing the amount of estimated hours for all tasks that are from one project. It's okay if that didn't make complete sense. I'm going to walk through a couple of these use cases, but really powerful features with endless possibilities. But this felt like a great playground to show you all how to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. And you may have noticed there are already relationships set up between these databases, this project and this client. So let's take this project property. It's a relation property to our project's database. And I will quickly recreate that to show you how simple it is to do that. And if you'd like, you can even just type in relation. It'll be this field right here. It'll ask you, okay, which of the existing databases would you like to set a relation with? And as we mentioned, we would do it with projects. Um, to keep it simple, I like to always add, or let me take one step back. You want to be good about naming this column. And what this is going to be is a new column in this table in our task database. So to make it makes the most sense, we can call it projects, and I'm throwing that S in there because it would say you already have a column named project, so we'll just call it projects. um, you can set a limit on it. I rarely set limits, but next big feature of a relation is the ability to make it a two-way relation, which we will do here in a second. But a two-way relation would then also put a column on this projects database up here, so you can see how that would be a two-way. For the time being, we'll let it be a one-way, and boom, there we can see our new column. And when you click on the white space there, you'll be able to pull in just the pages that are found within the project's database. So pretty simple. I'll clear that since we already have the exact same version over here. But let's go ahead and make this a two-way, because what I would like to do is um, pull a roll up and then also sum our estimated time per task as it relates to each of these projects. So we're going to go to our original relation property for our projects database. We will turn that into a two-way. So then in our projects table, we want to call this, let's call this tasks. Okay, oh, keep that enabled. Great, that should have done so. Yep, there we are. And you can see it's populated with all of the tasks from this database that we associated to that project. So, like I said, you can't do a roll up until a relation is established, or a relationship is established between two databases. Oh, so we would like to call this, let's just call it total hours. Okay, click back on that. Let's edit the property. So now we're going to select which relation, and since there's only one in the project's database, we can select tasks. So now what property do we want pulled from our task database? And like I said, we want to pull our estimated hours. And here's the really cool part. So, okay, now what do you want to do with that data? Do you just want to display the original? But like I said, I'd like to sum it. So, booyah, there you go. We can see per project, total hours. It's looking at all the tasks and that associated hours to each of them, saying, all right, 31 hours, 24 hours, 41 hours for each of these projects. And to keep it cleaner, since this column, we needed it as when we set up the two-way relation, but it's really not that useful to me. We can just simply hide it and just keep this roll-up column. Um, yeah, so then over here, you could also do stuff if you wanted to associate an average hourly rate per client, that could be beneficial. And you would just follow those same practices. There's already a relation established in this template. So you would change that to a two-way, and then you would create a roll-up property. And all you would do different, well, two things you would do different. You would select the hourly rate column from the test database. And then if you wanted to see the average hourly rate per each client, you would then, instead of saying sum, and I can realize I can get talking, so let me give you a visual. Instead of selecting sum, you would just select average. So you can see over here, and that's even kind of valuable over here to see, you would want to rename it. It's not total hours, but average time per task per project. But yeah, how that you could see how that could be valuable over here. But yeah, so was really glad to show you that. That idea came to me last week when I was working on this template in relation to roll-up properties. That's something we'll continue to hit on. It's a very valuable use case here in Notion, or feature, I should say. But I hope that makes sense. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I'll have something cool for you next week too. Cheers.